Hello and welcome. You are watching Learn English with Shaukat Ansari. And before I proceed, I would like to place a reminder to all of you that you subscribe to this channel Learn English with Shaukat Ansari. This is Dr. Muhammad Shaukat Ansari, and in this particular video, teaching video I am going to discuss the summary of chapter 8 in Aristotle's Poetics. Aristotle's Poetics is prescribed to undergraduate courses for the students who are majoring English, and chapter 8 is commonly prescribed to such courses. In Poetics, chapter 8 is very important. You are again welcome to this session, and I must tell you, Aristotle was born at Stagira in the dominion of the kings of Macedonia in 384 BC. For 20 years he studied at Athens in the academy of Plato, on whose death in 347 he left. Aristotle left Athens, and sometime later became tutor of the young Alexander the Great. When Alexander succeeded to the throne of Macedonia in 336 BC, Aristotle returned to Athens and established his own school, library, and research institute, popularly known as the Lyceum, Lyceum, to which his great erudition attracted a large number of scholars and critics. After Alexander's death in 323 BC, anti-Macedonian feeling drove Aristotle out of Athens, and he fled to Chalcis in Euboea, where he died in 322 BC. Aristotle was a great author. He was a great philosopher, scientist, linguist, and he was a Greek author. His writings, which were of extraordinary range, profoundly affected the whole course of ancient and medieval philosophy, and they are still eagerly studied and debated by philosophers today. We have in the Poetics an analysis of tragedy by an intelligent and well-informed observer who was much closer chronologically and culturally to the plays than we are. Another reason why the Poetics is worth studying closely is the quality of its thought. Poetics has got its thought. Poetic shows how intelligent and well-informed Aristotle was. Aristotle had an exceptionally penetrating and subtle intellect. Now, directly I jump to chapter 8, and my purpose here is to present the summary of chapter 8. Chapter 8 deals with the structure of plot in tragedy. Plot, it is a term, it is an element in a tragedy, in a play. Plot is the way of presenting a story, the presentation of a story, the presentation of actions in a story, the presentation of incidents related with the play's hero in the story. Okay, so chapter 8 deals with the structure of plot in tragedy. It speaks of the unity of actions too. According to Aristotle, in a tragedy, when the plot is presented, when the plot is constructed, there must be unity of actions. So he stresses on the unity of actions in a tragedy, so far the plot construction is concerned. In this chapter, Aristotle makes two significant statements. First, that the formal unity cannot be imparted to the plot merely by the story of a single hero's life. Okay, hero's life is presented. This doesn't mean the plot is well constructed according to Aristotle. Infinitely varied things may happen to the hero, the protagonist. The dramatist must make a proper selection out of these numerous incidents. This is a guidelines. Here there is a guidance. There is a tip for the playwright, for the dramatist, that he must make a proper selection out of numerous incidents that occur, that take place in the life of hero, in the life of protagonist. Secondly, the unity of plot must be organic. The unity of plot must be harmonized, must be synthesized, must not be in haphazard way, must not be in fragmented way. There must be unity of actions, unity of place. As the plot, I mean the story presentation of a tragedy is the most important thing. Its structure deserves much attention from the dramatist. Tragedy is an imitation. Here, see this word imitation. Mark this word imitation. Tragedy is an imitation of action that is complete. Tragedy must be an imitation of action, of an action or actions that must be complete, that must be whole, and of a certain magnitude. A whole here stands for which has a good beginning, a good middle, and good end. There must be influences, there must be interest, motivation in reading, and it must have a good beginning, a good start, a good middle, and good end. This is called a unified plot. This is called a good presentation, a story presentation, according to the opinions of Aristotle. It means a well-constructed plot must neither begin nor end in a haphazard manner. Mark this phrase, haphazard manner. It must not begin or it must not end, it must not go to the middle in haphazard manner, in this way or that way. No, there must be unity, there must be harmony, there must be synthesis. Okay, in the presentation of actions or activities, the action imitated in a tragedy must also have a certain magnitude, which means that it should not be too short but should have some length. Another criterion by Aristotle for writing tragedy, that a bit lengthy its plot must be, not too short. A brilliant animation for you, and I must tell you, I must assert here that this life is meant to learn. Step by step, phase by phase, you learn, and you must have interest in learning, motivation in learning, and it is called experiences in life. So if you try your best, honest attempt you make, it means you are learning well. And in the connection of learning English language skills or spoken skills or communication skills, please try to learn. Please create an interest in learning, okay, and it will be very advantageous for all of you. And I must tell you here, I would like to cite here a, a brilliant fact that my this channel Learn English with Shaukat Ansari is going to proceed, is going to go beyond 80 videos. There are 80 videos already uploaded here on different subjects, different themes, maybe on grammar, grammatical items, on spoken skills, on communication skills, on language skills, on literature aspects. So variety is here, diversity is here, and you must try to derive maximum benefits from such videos. So at least in a week you choose one video and watch the video very minutely, very attentively, and jot down important points on your notebook. Aristotle says that the plot should not be so long, not so long that the mind and memory may not be able to embrace it in one view. So for readers, for viewers, the plot of a play must not be so long, so that the mind and memory of readers may not be able to accept it in one view. The sequence of events in the plot now it's clear to all of you that plot is the way of presenting a story in a drama, in a tragedy. So the sequence of events in the plot should follow the law of probability or necessity, second criterion, and should admit of a change from bad fortune to good fortune, or from good fortune to bad fortune. In a tragedy, what happens that it begins with good fortune and ends on bad fortune. For example, Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus begins, Shakespeare's Macbeth, it begins with good fortune of the hero and ends on bad fortune, tragedy, misery, death, frustration, depression of the protagonist. I mean, in Macbeth, written by William Shakespeare, the fate of Macbeth in the last, towards the end of the story, towards the end of the play, it becomes so miserable, so devastating, and his murder occurs towards the end, but the beginning is nice. In the version of Aristotle, in this chapter 8 of the Poetics, the plot should be one. There must be one plot, not many plots in one story, in one tragedy. But the unity of plot doesn't consist in the unity of the hero, because there are so many events and incidents in the life of a man that all of them cannot be reduced to unity. No need to incorporate many events or incidents that occur in the life of the hero. Okay, there must be selection, there must be choosing, but while choosing and while inserting those events in the story, in the plot of a tragedy, there must be coherence, there must be unity, there must be unified approach. It means the plot, according to Aristotle, in this chapter 8, I'm going to actually I'm trying to present the synopsis of chapter 8. According to Aristotle, the plot should be one, but the unity of plot doesn't consist in the unity of the hero, because there are so many events and incidents in the life of a man that all of them cannot be reduced to unity. In this chapter, Aristotle cites the example of Homer. And you must know Homer was a Greek poet, and he wrote Odyssey, a popular epic poem. And in this chapter, while supporting his arguments regarding the plot, Aristotle cites the example of Homer and his epic poem Odyssey. Aristotle says that is why Homer in his Odyssey doesn't include all the adventures of the hero but chooses incidents which center around an action which in our sense of the word is one. So, while supporting his argument, while endorsing his argument, he cites the example of Homer. And I have just told you that many actions occur in the life of a person, but while writing, while creating, while formulating, while designing the plot of a tragedy, this is not necessary to incorporate all the actions, all the incidents. Selection is must. Okay? And alternatives must be open to incorporate. And here Aristotle says about Homer that he doesn't include in Odyssey all the adventures of the hero but chooses incidents which center around an action which in our sense of the word is one. Here Aristotle takes Homer as the supreme model of artistic unity of dramatic construction. By citing his epic poem Odyssey, it seems that Aristotle takes Homer as the supreme model of artistic unity of dramatic construction, of presenting plot, of creating plot. In this chapter, Aristotle also talks about imitation. In his opinion, the imitation you must know the copy. The imitation is one when the object is imitated, is copied, is one. So the plot, being an imitation of action, must imitate one action and that a whole. The structural union of the parts being such that if any one of them is displaced or removed, the whole will be disjoined and distributed. So there must be wholeness. There must not be fragments, fragmented presentation. No. Actions must be united. Action must be woven into one. Okay? My dear lovely student, thanks for being with me. See you in the next venture, in the next video, in the next teaching lesson. Again, I repeat, subscribe to this channel and derive maximum benefits from teaching videos uploaded here on various topics like focusing English grammar, spoken English, communication skills, English language skills, English literature aspects. You derive maximum benefits from these videos and my efforts will come to the fruitful result if you take advantages from such videos. Thank you very much. See you.